Am I seeing you okay? Am I seeing you there? Hey everybody, it's me, Josh with Hope, and I'm bringing you a really special session tonight. Many of you have asked me to ask for JFK Jr., John F. Kennedy Jr., and Carolyn Bessette, and I decided to try and reach out to them and see if I could make contact. Now, years ago, I did ask for JFK Jr., and it was a very weak connection. It felt like it was very brief, so I figured it would be a good time. I actually did ask for his father, JFK. That is on my TikTok and on my YouTube Shorts. It was a very strange interaction. I kind of blame myself for asking a weird question to him, but it was very interesting what came through. So check that out if you want. After this FX show Love Story, which kind of gripped everyone, people started asking me to ask for him and her, and I figured it would be a good time to do so. So I decided to set up and ask for them. Now, I want to show you something. Many of you for many years have seen these light anomalies, these orbs within my sessions, and you could see them, entering me, entering the box, the equipment. You can see them leaving me, my head, the little white patch in my hair, leaving the box after asking for them. So it's kind of like they'll come when I ask and then they'll leave when I'm done with communication. Now, of course, many skeptics and many people think that orbs are just bugs or dust, and that's been debunked, and all of this. And I'm going to show you something. So before I did this session, I was just sitting at my desk, kind of setting up. Everything was quiet. I was not moving about really. I was just kind of lightly moving at my desk, and you can see a few light anomalies shooting across and moving around. And once I start the session, there's nothing else going on. So I feel like it's my guides and other spirits that were moving about before I began. Now you could see that, and then watch what I do here. I take a pillow and a blanket, and I'm banging it out in front of the camera, and you can see that there's no dust showing up. There's definitely dust flying out of that pillow and out of the blanket, but it's not showing up on the camera. And so anyone can do this test themselves. And this is just to show you that those light anomalies are something else. I believe they're spirit. You can make your own determination on that, but it's not dust, as I'm just proving right now in that clip. Now, this is also something I need to explain. And many of you thanked me in the comments for taking the time to explain my process. I'm getting 3,000 or more new subscribers every month. And I think it's very important that with a lot of the disinformation that's going around from other dishonest people out there that are always trying to discredit this work, I think it's important that I explain this in every video. Some of you did say, hey man, you're taking too long. We already know this information. You don't have to explain it in every video. And I disagree. I think it needs to be explained in every video. But this is the thing. You don't have to stay and watch it if you don't want to. If you've seen this explanation many times, you can always go down to the bottom of the timeline where I've broken it up into chapters and just begin right where the session begins. So I'm not making you watch this. I'm not trying to extend it for ad revenue. I'm just explaining it because it deserves that kind of explanation. Now, as I said, I am a medium, an experienced medium. I've done over 5,000 readings without equipment. Okay, I don't need equipment to communicate with spirit. I think the equipment makes it more interesting when I do use it, giving them back their own voice, a chance to say what they want, not through a human filter. I don't know if I'm making contact with every person that I'm reaching. Only when personal details, facts come through, and I do this for regular people all the time, that stuff happens, then I feel more comfortable that I could say that I feel it was them, but I do trust my connection. Now, spirit doesn't have a voice like they did when they were alive. They don't have vocal cords. So what happens is when I record a spirit using a voice recorder, they come through as a whisper. You can hear it as a whisper, my voice with tone, their voice with whisper. But what the box does, and the box is not special. It's not a woo-woo box. It's not some, magical box that's been blessed by the spirits. It's just a guitar amp. with reverb pedals that add reverb that help elongate the sound wave that allows the spirit to manipulate the audio. Now, I am using the Hope Voice Signature method. That's me giving back the spirit their own voice when I can, or just a regular human voice that's been reversed, so it's backwards, slowed, and chopped up and randomized. So it's randomized in 2-second increments. And why do I do that? Because radio spirit boxes and other ghost apps use forward speech in their sound banks or in the broadcasts. That means you can get a lot of false positives. So by using what I'm doing, my system, it is giving them human sound, but with no forward words. By reversing the sound banks in my app or the responses I get in the session, you will hear pieces of words or full words that have been dragged out. And what is that telling you? It tells you I'm telling you the truth of what I'm using as my sound source. It tells you that I'm not laying in forward words to the session, and I'm not using AI. So anyone can validate this work themselves, okay? Now, why am I turning the dial? Because that's how this box works. I don't want constant sound coming out all the time. It stays quiet, the sound runs in the background, and then after I ask a question, I turn the dial or I open the gate on my computer program, the HSB-PRO, and I'm hoping that Spirit is using that 2, 3, 4-second increment to form their own responses. So that's pretty much it. That's the explanation of my work. If anyone's interested in anything that I offer, my app, my book, my events, anything that I'm doing, hopeparanormal.com is where you can visit and see all the things. I've also written a really good article that really goes into depth with all the receipts there. There's a lot of receipts in the links of this article that I would recommend that you check out, that really goes into depth about just the difficulties of doing this work. So check that out when you get a chance. And so now we will get into the session. I believe it was a powerful connection, and let's get right into it.
So I'm setting foot inside of the astral room. Already I feel a lot of energy all over my face and my body. So I feel like I'm already sensing John F. Kennedy Jr. within the room and Carolyn Bessette Kennedy within the room. John F. Kennedy Jr. I am greeting you. And I'm greeting you, Carolyn. Now, I've been putting this intention out there that I've been wanting to ask for you. I asked Jesus if you would come and speak, and I got the answer was yes. So I want to just say thank you for greeting me or for joining me in doing this. I hope that I do you guys justice in giving you back a chance to speak. I want to thank my guides for allowing, for helping. Okay. All right, I'm going to shut off the radio. I've been running the radio box. I have my spirit bell on. And if anyone wants to use the bell at any time, you can. Okay. John. I greet you. Can you use this? raise the volume up a little bit. Now I'm going to ask you a question, and then I'm going to slide this gate open where it's going to release some of your sound, your voice with no words in it, no forward words. So it's just reversed backwards speech chopped up of yours. Were you alerted to the fact that I wanted to ask for you, that I was going to ask for you? Were you told by the guides, were you somehow alerted to the fact that I was going to ask for you? Let me ask you, I see the two of you there together now. Are you and Carolyn together on the other side most of the time, or together? Are you guys together on the other side? A lot. How about now? Are you and Carolyn together a lot on the other side? So just one more on the computer, and then I'm going to switch over to the box. But have you reconnected with your father, with your uncle, with your mother especially? I know how close and how much you cared about all of them, but I know you were still close with your mother. Have you reconnected with all of them? Okay, I'm going to switch over to the box. I just wanted to use the computer program for a few questions. Okay. So I see you sitting there. The bell dinged. I see you sitting there, and it doesn't seem like you have aged. Am I seeing you okay? Am I seeing you there? Okay. And I want to ask you, how are you doing? Okay, I am listening, like I said, but a lot of what you say I'll understand later on. And I just want to ask that again, and I'm sorry for asking questions 2 and 3 times. I'll try not to do that, but I'm just trying to give you a chance to answer in case you weren't able to answer. But are you and Carolyn together on the other side a lot? Yeah. I want to ask, was there an adjustment? Was there an adjustment for you? Was there an adjustment period, a review process? Was there an adjustment period for you on the other side once you got there? Is there anything that you would like to say to the people that are going to see this, the thousands of people that will see this, to your fans, the people that care about you still do? Is there anything you want to say to them about anything? Are you aware of the fans and the people that are still, watching, and ask about this, the show that was on about you guys? But are you aware of how many people still want to hear from you, want to, that care about you? I listen. Yeah, I mean, the guy that they got to play you looked very much, like a good-looking guy like you, and um, Carolyn, she was very private, and it makes sense. You were a little bit more out there for people to know more about. Um, what did you think of it? What did you think of this show? I want to ask you, do you and Carolyn still feel, I know you had a very passionate, at times maybe some say difficult relationship, but one with a lot of love and a lot of passion. And do you still feel like you have that connection on the other side with her? I want to know that you are okay on the other side. I think you are. I'm sure you are. But I would like to know more about your experience on the other side. What's it like for you on the other side? What's it like for the both of you? I know your nephew Jack Schlossberg. He is very active, online and sharing his thoughts. I think he may be wanting to run for some type of office of some kind, or the Senate, or I don't know what he's doing. I know he spoke out about you know, this show with you guys, about you guys saying it was inaccurate and that he didn't like it. But do you see what Jack is doing and working on? I saw. Sounds like you said I saw. Now I know that your niece, unfortunately, Tatiana, just passed, I think from cancer or leukemia. I don't know exactly which one it was. But have you seen her on the other side? Is there any way that you have seen her? Yeah, I see her. Sounds like I see her, he says. Sounds like I think you're saying that. Well, like I said, I can keep asking questions, so I'm going to have to stop myself because I can just keep thinking of things to ask you. And I hope that I asked a few questions that the fans wanted to know. I'm sure they're going to have plenty of things to say that I should have asked this and I should have asked that, but there's only so much that I can do. So I want to say thank you. Please stay because I want to ask for Carolyn. I want to see if she would like to come through. I want to give her her proper chance. She's this beautiful wife of yours and talented woman, and I would think that she's still very much that person on the other side. So hopefully she'll want to come through. And again, thank you for being here with us tonight. All right. I'm going to put on her voice and give her a chance now. Okay. All right. So Carolyn Bessette Kennedy. I don't have a ton of questions for you, but I wanted to give you a fair chance. I know every time the press asked you a question, you were very, courteous and you would give an answer, but it's like you didn't want to give more than what was being asked. The bell's dinging, so maybe that's a confirmation you're going to try this. You deserve that opportunity to speak. So I hope you do take it. What is life over there like? What's it like for you over there? If you can, answer that. Nice, something. It sounds like you were saying something right there. Now your sister, I mean, unfortunately, tragically, she passed. Your older sister was on the plane with you, Lauren. Now, I don't see Lauren. I'm not really tuning into her. But, you are also with Lauren on the other side, reunited with her. She was there on the plane, and I'm sure she was there on the other side with you, correct? Is there anything, now let me ask you, were you aware of this love story? Does it get your approval in any way? Jack, John's nephew, didn't seem to approve of it. I think there were other people that really did not like it. But of course the fans, the people that, there were a lot of people that did enjoy it and did love watching it and, seeing you guys kind of your life, played out. Anything else you want to clear up about it or say anything? Okay. People wanted to hear from you. People wanted to hear from you. Is there anything that you want to say to the people that cared and the fans? Anything you want to say to them? Okay. I'm going to ask you a couple more and then I'm going to let you guys go. Or I'm going to ask if you want to pray with me and see if you want to. But, I asked John, did you have any experience with God or the light on the other side? Have you had a divine experience over there? Okay. All right. I'm going to pray for you guys. I'm going to say a prayer. I don't think that necessarily you need it, but I don't want to assume that either. I just like to say prayers for people, whether they need it or not, doesn't matter. Send you love. I'm going to ask that people send you love when they see this session. There's a lot of people that will be excited to hear that you came through, hoping that you did. I am hearing you. I am hearing him. But I know there's a lot more that I'm hoping that I should be able to make out. Would you be willing, you and John both be willing to say prayers with me when I shut the cameras off? Well, Carolyn and John, I want to say thank you and continue to be an example of love on the other side. And thank you. God bless you. Thank you. Okay. All right. I'm going to shut the cameras off and I'm going to pray for them now. I'm just going to pray for you guys. So just hang with me another few more minutes if you can.